What's going on, YouTube? We're gonna get started here in a minute. Just trying to set up everything. You guys go ahead and call in to the hotline. Number is 669-900-6833. And that code is on the screen as well, 169-861-119. Give me a call, get in that queue so we can talk. We're gonna be talking Facebook tonight. Facebook is coming out with a coin. We're going to talk about that. Talk about EOS a little bit. That's been a hot topic lately. And also Consensus Conference coming up next week. I'll be at the tail end of that. And I want to talk about, what do you think the ramifications of this big conference? They're going to have like 7,000 people this year. What do you think that means for Bitcoin for the rest of the year? We talked about that a little bit this week on one of the shows. But just hang tight there, people, for a minute. We'll get started in a second. Robert S., what's going on, man? How'd you guys like that? How'd you like that Bix and Truth Blitz this morning? That was nice, wasn't it? Good conversation, good debate. I gotta disagree with Bix though, people. Yeah, gotta disagree with Bix. Call that number, people, 669-900-6833. I'm hoping that my man Don from Virginia calls in. I love his when he calls in. He always has something good to say, good topics, good debates. So Don, if you're listening, man, get in that queue and hit me up. All the usuals that call in, hit me up. I know this is kind of, I didn't schedule it but an hour and a half ago, but I'm like, hey, we got to do one today. We got to do one. Yes, someone said the ice storm is over. Yeah, the ice storm been over, bro. This weather has been too good on the weekends, man. I've been like, I don't want to do it this weekend. So finally gonna do it this weekend. It's been raining all weekend. Gloomy. Can't stand it. All right, so let's get it started, people. Let me get my camera's looking crappy. Let me fix that really quickly. And we'll fade this music down. So, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Off the Chain. Hope you guys are doing well. So let's go ahead and get started today. Again, call that number. I'm gonna put it up one more time. 669-900-6833. The code is 169-861-119. John, what's good, baby? Yeah, I'm firing it up. Let's roll. So first, let's take a look at where we are with the market cap. I'm using coin checkup again. I like this one. Bitcoin's dominance is at 37.28%. And it looks like it's at 387 billion right now. So still not looking good, man. We still look like we have a bear. We're in a bear pattern right now. Looks like we're kind of bouncing off the lows though. I saw Bitcoin, I believe Ethereum kind of spike up a little bit, but look at that 7-day column, just all red. So yeah, Randall, we're gonna talk about Novogratz. We're gonna talk about that, his fund that he's actually partnered up with EOS. They're doing a $325 billion fund. Novogratz is a smart guy, so they're gonna make sure. Mike Novogratz is gonna make sure that's gonna succeed. So we'll get into all of that, but yeah, we're not looking too good right now. I started to think about I started wondering, like, was the sell-off in conjunction with the triple whammy we talked about? Was that part of it? But was it part of people maybe selling before consensus? You know, I don't know. You guys let me know. We got to talk about that. But we're definitely down and out. Down and out. My man Ken. I'm mad I won't see you. Thank you for the super chat. I'm mad I won't see you out there in NY. I know you're leaving, I think Wednesday you said. I'll be coming in Thursday for the Crypto Influencers Award, the CIA. They could have picked a better acronym though, right? But thanks for the super chat, Ken. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and look at this first article. The first article, actually, let's take a look at this chart really quickly. I want to look at the chart. Let's look at the chart. This chart, again, I'm concerned that we're below this line here. I have a support line that we've broken. We've got a long-term trend line that we've broken. And we actually, if you look here, I'll zoom in. We actually tried to break back above. It was an attempt by the bulls to get back above that, and we got smacked right back down. So until we get back above there, I'm not looking good. And the longer we stay below there, it's almost like I made this analogy once. It's like, this is like the water line. Is the longer we stay below it, the more likely we are to drown. So we're still underwater here. We got to get back up for some air. I'm hoping that we do that Monday, starting Monday. That's when the consensus conference kicks off. So hopefully we'll get some influx of capital and we'll get back above that to get some air. But the actual article for today, the first one, I guess we'll talk about this. Facebook reportedly very serious about launching its cryptocurrency. What do you guys think about Facebook and this cryptocurrency stuff? First, they were bashing it like many. And now it looks like they're trying to get on board with it. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking to do. It says here Facebook is reportedly very serious about launching its own cryptocurrency, but won't do so through an ICO. The company recently refreshed or reshuffled its executive structure to have an early Bitcoin investor leading a team. And so let me just scroll down and see here. Social media giant Facebook is reportedly very serious about launching its own cryptocurrency, according to a report from Cheddar's Alex Heath. This isn't the first time the idea of a face coin has been entertained, but this time's plan takes on greater meaning as the company recently reshuffled its executive structure. So Alex Heath saying here, Facebook crypto efforts will take years to materialize, sources tell me, but the company doesn't plan to hold an ICO. So to me, John Hill, shout out to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. You said Facebook cryptocurrency news is fake news. I don't know, man. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's fake. Why do you say it's fake, John? I just think if they're, and you know how this is how the corporate life is, man. They will take forever to do stuff. It takes a long time for them to spool up and do projects. It just has to go through so many lines of chains of command that we all know, like how this crypto game is. Several years is like 10 years in the crypto game. So they need to speed it up if they want to actually be a viable contender in this space. You know what I mean? Like, there are going to be some decentralized social media platforms. We've seen a lot of them that are going to come out and really take market share from Facebook. Once people start to realize, hey, I can actually earn cryptocurrencies from doing the same things that I've always done. So I don't think them taking that long is a good thing, and I don't know how much faster they can really move, to be honest with you. Oshika asks, you think they may buy out Ken/Kick? No, I don't think they're going to do any acquisitions. I think this is going to come from in-house, in my opinion. Oshika, I don't see them acquiring any, though that would be a smart move, like they did with Instagram, they did with other companies. Acquiring companies helps you scale up faster for sure, but I just don't see, I don't know, I could be wrong, man. That's a good point. I don't personally think that's going to be the case, but hey, we'll see here. We'll see. So back to this article. It says here, according to the report, Facebook may create a cryptocurrency that will allow its over 2 billion users to make electronic payments. Facebook's huge user base, along with its own existing marketplace section for buying and selling goods, would help cryptocurrency adoption surge. Madman Mo said, why don't they just use Litecoin for payments on Facebook? Good question. I personally think, I got a call on the line. Let me just get this thought out. I personally think, why use another when you have the resources to build your own blockchain where you can have it as centralized as you want? If you adopt like a Litecoin, first, I don't know how robust their blockchain is going to be. You know, I don't know if they're going to have the ability to do like smart contracts on it or what they're looking to do. So I think building it from the ground up or in-house will probably be to their best interest in the long term. It will take, Randall, it will take them a long time. It will. And that's going to be, to me, their downfall. That's going to be why they don't succeed. So I got a caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's good? Talk to me.
What's up, Crypto Blood? It's Steve from Buffalo.
Steve, hey, how you doing, man? I know you've called in before. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. And I know Don, I hit Don up. He's playing with his kids right now, but if you stick around a little bit, he's going to try to hop in there. So,
man, please get Don. I forgot that's your boy. Yeah, get Don on, man. I got to hear what he feels. It's been, hell, how long has it been? Like a month since I've done a off the chain.
Since the ice storm.
Yes, since the ice storm,
Since
man.
the ice storm.
Yeah, the ice storm it's been going on for a whole month, guys. Just to let you guys know out there. What's on your mind, though, bro?
It depends what topic. First, like with Bix, I think you do like a really good job. No one really challenges him, and I like his point of view. Usually, like, he doesn't have to back it up, so I think it's very valuable when he actually has to try to explain his point of view like a little bit deeper. Like usually, like if you watch him with Cliff or Joe, it's kind of just like the Bix show. Like he'll just talk, and everyone kind of nods their head, like, yeah. Good guys, bad guys. I get it, you know. There you go. So true. Like he put out that video though. Like I think I told you, like in the comments there. Like I use like a bunch of like different names. I used to use my real name, which I kind of thought
cool.
That's probably a bad idea.
I know who you are.
There's a lot of.
I remember that comment. Yeah, like in his last video, like he put out, like he's like, "Oh, I think it's like a deep state conspiracy." Like, I like Bix, but like that's I'm a little conspiratorial myself. Who isn't? If you are a questioning person, but if you want to call, like EOS, like the deep state, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what you say about that. Like I think that's like a little bit out there, but man, you gotta. Here's my thing. Like, I don't have a problem with
conspiratorial. Like that's far out there.
Oh, right. I don't have a problem with being conspiratorial. That's fine. I think that's
no.
Good.
I don't either.
But to me, it's like, yo, I need just a little facts. Like, bring me something.
Right.
And I'm
right. Like you can't just claim it's all the government and then like you're just guessing. I don't think you should. I mean, I don't think you should. You're allowed to, but it's not the right way to do it.
Right. So that's where I have, that's when I'm like, yo, I need more information. I need more, because I'm doing all the research on the other side to counter that argument, but I'm not seeing anything from anyone, not just Bix, but other people, nothing substantial. They're saying about the Brock Pierce pedophile thing.
Right, exactly. I thought the same thing. Like when you were talking to him, so people like settle out of court. People always settle out of court. If you don't want to drag it on and like you wanted to go public, you would settle out of court, whether it's bullshit or not. Every rich person will tell you that. I'm not rich, but that's what people do. It's not hard to make a claim, especially in torts, and then you just decide to pay, so it goes away. I would do it. Someone call me a pedophile, I'm paying, and you're going to sign this saying that it never happened because it's bullshit. And then, all of a sudden, people can label you a pedophile, years later, with no court case. That's ridiculous.
So Burling report just said, and this is a good point, and I have to assume that Bix has not done any research on EOS or Dan Limmer. No, seriously, because if you see on the screen here, he says here, Dan Limmer worldview is opposite of deep state. He is. He's almost, I don't think he calls himself an anarchist, but damn close, if you want to say that. So yeah, I don't know. I just need proof, man. I just need proof. That's all. Bix is a good guy.
I actually appreciate you challenging him, because no one else does, and I don't know the truth. You don't know the truth. You don't know the truth. But it's a good conversation, and it's good to at least fight back a little bit because, you know, that's healthy conversation.
That's all it is, healthy conversation. And I don't think we have that in this. I don't know if we have that on the internet much, but for sure not in cryptos. Like,
no.
It's usually all the people who agree get together, they have their shows and they talk, and it's just like a feedback loop. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just good. Yeah. It's just good to have opposing and different opinions in one setting, so we can learn and bounce off of each other. And it's not to be saying you're an enemy of a person or anything like that. That's good conversation, man. That's what it's supposed to be.
Well, like, you're right. The whole internet is like groupthink, because like-minded people find each other and then they feed off each other, and it just, you know, keeps like a big snowball effect. You know, something like it's an avalanche. Like, you got all these people who think one way, all these people like who think another. So, like, you're right. It's very rare on the internet that you actually have like dialogue or, you know, like real conversation. At least I think, you know, mostly. The internet is basically just for shit posting and stating your opinion.
And trolling. A lot of trolling going on the internet. I hate that.
Yeah, some people need to be trolled though.
Yeah, no doubt. No,
like they do it because if no one ever challenges you, like that's where trolls come from. Like, because they won't answer real questions. So, you know, sometimes they talk shit like just to get their attention because they're ridiculous. Not saying like that I'm like a full-on troll, but there's two sides to every story. That's all.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you know, getting on the other side of that argument is healthy, even if you don't even believe it. Like, that's healthy to have some opposing views somewhere. I'm not saying I do believe that EOS is a good project and not a deep state program, but it's just good.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm sorry, like I just find that funny. So I know you and Don have talked about this, and me and him have talked about it plenty of times, and like there's still never been like a clear answer. I don't think there's going to be a clear answer, but when it comes to your profile, you guys talked about like the use case for tokens, and like I go back and forth because like when you build your profile, you only have so much money to spend. You can only break it down so many ways, and I feel very conflicted about like my profile because like sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I need this because it all could happen. But sometimes I'm like, if I just stick with basically just the main 4 or 5, especially the currencies, like I do believe in obviously like EOS, like in Ether, but just because, you know, like decentralized like applications are going to be everything, right? But like if the currencies don't work, the whole thing don't work. Am I correct about that? Or like, can they work without the underlying currencies? Is that possible?
You're saying what doesn't work? I'm sorry, I missed that part. You said if what? No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so like the whole like decentralization, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have like a company like based on like your token, it doesn't work if the underlying currencies like Bitcoin are like killed off, correct?
No.
You can't have blockchain like without like the currencies because it doesn't really make sense for one. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here's this is why Bitcoin is still the king, because most of everything is paired with Bitcoin and now Ethereum. So if you want to buy some token, like let's just say Very or OMG or whatever Ethereum ERC20 token, you have to get Ethereum first before you can acquire that token. Most crypto, you know, most of the tokens are paired to Ethereum, and so I guess, you know, if you see Bitcoin go away, it will hurt the ecosystem, but it won't go away. It will still theoretically be able to function, if that makes sense.
It would probably function less effective though.
It would be less effective. Well, in what way? Technically speaking, or you're just saying like people not being interested? Just the whole
like ecosystem. I don't know. Like it's it doesn't seem very like decentralized if the decentralized currencies are not there, like, and it's just like, because most tokens are, well, not most, but some are. I'm like, when it's like just for like a platform, it's obviously, you know, somewhat centralized, right? Does that make sense?
The token, or yeah,
it
or
can
the
be. Like, I know,
application.
like, it can be like Ripple is centralized. Okay, like we know that Ripple is centralized.
Correct.
They control it. I know that you can have like decentralized, like social media and decentralize everything, but
yeah, I mean, I personally think.
What's the point of currency then? What's the point of the currency if you don't need the currency and they can move past the currency, and then like they just build a platform and then like you just use that token? Like,
yeah,
mind, like,
there is. Well, the only the point of it is, or not the point, but currently how it's set up, you have to. Those are the gateways. Like, if I need. If let's just say Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum went away. Well, not Ethereum. I gotta keep Ethereum because that's not really technically a currency,
right?
Or Ether,
right.
Ether, right? If you take Bitcoin and Litecoin away, you still could technically have a direct on ramp from fiat to those tokens because, like you take a Coinbase or a Kraken, Gemini, you can purchase with US dollar. I can purchase Ethereum directly. And then go from Ethereum,
right? But wouldn't it be
Ether to
less relevant then?
Not Ether. Ether wouldn't be, because you still you have to get that have to get an Ether to buy the tokens, whichever company you're.
Okay, so like let me flip the question then.
Okay.
If somehow the currencies like get killed off, and I say that because I watched Mike Novogratz, and like he did like 2 interviews like this week talking about his index. He did one, I think, on CNN and one on Fox Business.
Okay.
And in one of those interviews, when they were talking about it, they asked about the currency, and he's like, you know, kind of sketchy about the currency, like saying like the KYC is going to be so ridiculous, and like he basically said if you don't like bet on like one of the tokens because they're going to compete with businesses. So he is very conflicting because he has Bitcoin. He believes in Bitcoin. He's had it for a while. I know he has like Ethereum, obviously. I'm sure he has everything. He's rich.
Right.
Right. But he seemed that the tokens were actually more important than the underlying currency, which I think so.
I think so.
So
I agree.
I'm not asking you like your profile, but like let's say like percentages like of your profile. Do you hold like more like tokens and value like than currency?
Yeah, I'm more token focused. Yep.
See, I get scared more like about the tokens because they're startup businesses basically, and you know a lot of those fail. I'm not saying it'll be the same percentage.
Okay.
The whole new world.
You bring up
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Tokens are going to definitely carry more risk than the currencies as of right now. I totally agree.
Do you think that they are going to try to stifle the currency and let the actual use case of platforms and like decentralization flourish, or do you think that they're all going to flourish, or like do you think?
No, so like I said, like man, the tokens are going to have the most, in my opinion, the most growth. But percentage wise, right, and there's actual utility that's there for the good ones. So there's a necessary demand there. Like if I want to use XYZ, then I have to, hypothetically, this is the whole theory. We don't know if that's going to work or not. With that right. To me, that's still out. But you know that's where the demand for that token is. However, on the flip side of that, you're now more prone to governments coming in. There's a central point of failure. If you get what I'm saying,
prone to basic failure too.
Yeah.
I mean, if a company fails or like a project doesn't work, that's why I'm conflicted. Like because you are more like into tokens, right? But that's also very risky. As you just said, I know it's all risky, but I don't think a currency has a chance of failure unless the government tries to kill it. I'm not saying that's easy.
The cryptocurrency's point of failure is smaller. It's way smaller because there's no central like the government can't just go say, okay, tomorrow we're going after Bitcoin and we're going to go head over to Bitcoin headquarters and shut it down. Can't
right,
do
but
that.
Couldn't they like just be like, well, a Coinbase, enough of that. Like we don't want it able to cash out like in bank accounts.
Sure.
If you can't cash it out in the bank accounts, you can't kill it, but you can limit it severely.
Absolutely.
To the point where it would basically kill it.
It would basically kill
so
it. It would damage it greatly. I'm talking 95%
right
crash.
Exactly.
Yes.
Can't kill it, but you can pretty much kill it. So it's very. I talked to Don about this. I talked to you about it. I heard you and Don talk about this. Like I am kind of beside myself sometimes. Like when I try to make my profile, like because I just see a lot of upside. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's hard. It's very hard to place your money because you could be fucked either way.
You and can,
I just don't know how the government's going to react.
But the likelihood of Bitcoin at this point, because how much infrastructure, how much working capital has been invested in Bitcoin and the network, and more so Bitcoin, Litecoin too, but I'm just saying predominantly Bitcoin. The governments aren't going to do that right now. They're not going to do that.
If you had well, I did see like Novogratz, like he talked about, what was the name, like Zappo? Was it Zappo? Oh, like what it is basically, like it's a bunch of like super bunkers where rich people can put their private keys on like 5 different continents. So, I mean, they're obviously like putting, just to play like the devil's advocate here, to see both sides. And rich people are taking their private keys, buying up Bitcoin and putting them in bunkers. So like that should say like, oh, like it's going to be around, right? But just like a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't. But to kind of summarize, man, like I said, I think the cryptocurrencies. There are so many cryptocurrencies out there right now. Most of them will go away. So there's where your risk is on that side.
Well, right.
However, I think that's a safe bet to go with like a Bitcoin, Litecoin. Pick two or three anonymous coins, and then like Bitcoin Cash. Pick the top ones you'll be good with. In my opinion, I think I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying that's my view on the risk profile on the cryptocurrency side. On the tokens, there's going to be more possibility for really large gains, but you're going to have a lot of them succumb to various, like I saw with Central, this SEC came in.
Some people are definitely going to get hurt.
People are going to get smacked. Sure. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. I got another call on the line. If you want to stay on, you can. More than welcome to, or call back in. I want to just get to this other caller though, really quickly.
All right, I'll call you back.
All right, sounds good. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's going on?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, Crypto. This is Raymond. I'm down here in Louisiana, and I just want to just holler at you about like the job that you're doing. I got a chance to watch the podcast video that you had with Big Swear.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to compliment you on it by taking him to task about, okay, it's good to say this, but where's your proof?
Right.
Because a lot of times he'll say things, and it's not to talk about my life. I mean, Jay Sniffer said things, but there's never no proof of, about what they say. And
yeah, I'm not a fan of Jay. I'm not a fan of Jay Snip on other reasons for other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really going to talk about it right now. But as far as Bix, I like Bix. I think he has a good heart, and he's not like I don't know. I just the vibe I get from Bix is he's just a good guy, but he just the theories that he has. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you got to give me something. I need to see some evidence, something. And that's all. That's all it is with Biggs, though. But I think Biggs is a really good, cool guy. That's why we're doing a monthly thing with him. So.
Okay, so he's a good guy, not a bad guy, because I'm still trying to figure out with him who's the good guys and who's the bad guys.
Right. Yeah. See, that's another. That's where I don't agree with the cut and dry good guy, bad guy. I think it's more complicated than that. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he comes from one side. And don't get me wrong, I'm from Louisiana. We've known about crooked politics, both sides. And I don't trust too many politicians. But, when you're always coming on one side and you're not pointing out what the other side is doing,
right?
That's corrupt. And we have with the president that we have right now, I have nothing against him. Actually, I kind of liked him in the past, but I have some family members who have had dealings with him where he doesn't pay his bills.
Who is this?
And
who is it? Who are you referring to?
The current president.
Oh, Trump. Okay.
I have some relatives that's in contracting business up in New York, New Jersey area, and a lot of times, they sign a contract to do a particular job, and then next thing he's refusing to pay him or want to pay him less money, and if they don't do it, then he want to go to court.
Right.
You got a small business, but you can't go to court against a billionaire.
Nope, you sure can't. You sure can't. But that's just that's
same thing with the
true.
banks. But what I'm saying is a person like that really honest or not? But I don't have nothing against him. But what I'm saying is, it's bad on both sides.
That's right. No, I agree. I agree. I don't subscribe to either Republican or Democratic parties because of that fact. I finally woke up and said, wait a minute, man. Like, I'm a business owner, so I always kind of lean toward the Republican Party. But it's corruption on both sides, man. The government is being bought by these corporations, by these banks. It's and that's why you can't just do a cut and dry. Republicans are good, the Dems are bad. Though I think one is worse than the other. I'm not trying to get into politics, but they're both horrible.
They're both horrible. That's my whole point.
Yeah. So even like with Trump, man, he got in. He said he was going to drain the swamp. I saw him take steps towards that. I thought that was very impressive. I was impressed with that. But even some of his moves that he's made, I'm like, I don't. What's going on, Trump? And one thing being before he got into office. Sorry to cut you off. Before he got into office, he was saying how horrible the stock market was manipulated, how the employment numbers were a bunch of crap. I agree with him. He gets in office. Now he's using those as one-liners to kind of give him credibility in his camp credibility. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm from Louisiana and South Louisiana, and I know a lot about swamps. And he has some pretty big alligators. I'm saying that,
Indeed.
When would you do another show with Cliff?
With Cliff? Man, Cliff, I don't know, man. He was real shaken up by first, his wife's health. I knew about it for a while. I just never said anything until he felt comfortable bringing that information out more. So I was actually supposed to go out and stay out there at his place for a few days in Seattle. That was supposed to be actually this month, earlier this month, but we canceled because of the situation. He got burglarized, and it was a lot of stuff, man. I don't know when I'm gonna get out there, but I'll try to have him on. He doesn't want to talk cryptos much right now, so we'll fit him in though for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I hope he does well. Because I noticed a difference in his voice on this last call. I noticed a difference in him, and I just hope him well, and hope he can get everything straightened together. With his wife's health and everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
And where do you think the crypto is going? You think it rising higher this summer, or
I do
staying sideways?
No, I think they're right, and I think to be honest with you, man, consensus. I think this consensus conference coming up next week is going to be that spark, that flame that gets us back going a little bit. I don't think we're going to see the exponential growth that we saw last year. As far as market cap growth, but I can see us doubling from here, or even doing a 3x from here.
Okay.
By the end of the year, I see definitely a 1 trillion in the forecast for 2018. Okay, because I finally got a few family members to follow me into cryptos. It took a lot of selling to get them. First they said no, they wouldn't get into them, and I showed them the numbers that I had, what I achieved, because I got in first bought Bitcoin back in 2013. Oh, you got in around the time I did then. Nice.
Yeah. I didn't know exactly what I was getting into. I just heard I was chasing some of the podcasts on gold and silver, and so I was chasing some of those podcasts, and one of the guys kept mentioning a guy named Cliff Hyde, and I heard 1 or 2 of his, and he was mentioning Bitcoin for the first time, and I just took a fly on it. Wasn't quite sure what it was, and just put it to the side until basically year before last, when things started heating up, and and it took me a while to get my wife into it, and she's an engineer, and she finally got into it, and now she's big into it, and we got some family members, but they all starting to look at me funny now. It's like, we got into this and they hadn't did anything, and so I just told them, just be patient and wait. It's coming.
That's the problem with getting people who really don't understand the technology. They end up getting in late in the cycle. When I say late, I don't think that, of course, that's the top of cryptos where we saw near, what was it, like 800 billion. That's not the top, but I'm just saying, normally people who are late to the game, they get in at the top of the cycles. So
yes.
Yeah, they gotta kind of, if they can, man, at this point, if they've held off this long, then they might as well go ahead and wait some more. Wouldn't hurt them, Never use money that that you need, though. Use discretionary money is what I always tell people.
Yes. That's what I always tell them. I was telling them, or my wife always tell them, don't use what you can't lose.
That's right.
Yeah. So, she was taking a nap, and she just woke up and asked me who I was talking to, and I told her it was you. She didn't believe me, so I let her hear your voice, and now she's shocked.
Well, tell her I said hi from Michigan.
Okay, he said hi, and she just on the side asked him about EOS.
Oh man, the EOS is going.
No, we real big fans of yours, man. I mean, we just big fans, and we send your podcast out, all your videos, whatever you call them. We send them out to family, friends, and all that. And you got a pretty good following here in Louisiana, in part of Texas, the Houston area. Yeah.
Nice, Louisiana.
Yeah, so
the boot.
Yeah.
The boot.
Yeah, Cajun country. We down in Cajun country.
Yeah, I was down there in Louisiana 2 years ago. I was there twice in 1 year, I believe. I went to there's a tech a startup convention or something I went to down there, and I had a good time, man. Good time.
You remember what part of it was in? What part of Louisiana?
God, I can't even remember, man.
I can't remember. Okay,
I can't even remember.
Because I can kick myself for missing out on Reggie Middleton was down in New Orleans for a conference for journalists, and I just couldn't get old. But I didn't want to go by myself, so I couldn't get anybody to go with me. So
gotcha.
I could just kick myself for not going, you know.
Yeah, New Orleans, I've been there, man. That's a good city too, man. And you guys got some really good food, man. I was very impressed with your food. I went to Brennan's. I went to Brennan's down there.
Okay, Brennan's. Okay, yeah. We hang out in that area a lot. We about 2 hours west of New Orleans in a city called Lafayette. So it's kind of like South Central. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, a lot of Cajun cooking here. That's where the Cajuns came, and but we go out to New Orleans. We try to go at least twice a year just to hang out in the warehouse district and eat the food and everything. But you have to be careful because the food can get you. You know, you know, we have a lot of heart disease here, so you know you have to watch. You know.
Yeah, I don't eat meat, man. But, I gave up meat about a year ago. No meat, only fish. Pretty, you know, fresh vegetables, fruit. No meat, man. Gave that up. That's bad. That's what's killing you.
Yeah, I still eat meat. I eat a lot of fresh vegetables and exercise and that type of stuff. But naturally, it took a heart attack for me to do it. But you know, I've seen the light. You know. So.
Yeah,
well,
man.
I'm not gonna hold you up any longer.
Oh, no problem, man. No one else has called in yet, but yes, thank you for the call, and make sure you call in again, man. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you, man. Goodbye.
Guys, hit that hotline 669-900-6833. You see the code there. You also see it in the description of the video. So if you're watching it live stream on YouTube, you can find that information down there as well. Yo, check it out. So I think it's Madman Mo, or however you say your name. You were wondering about this site called Are We Decentralized Yet? It's arewedecentralizedyet.com. Check that site out. That will show you guys how centralized these decentralized currencies are. And also tokens as well. But yeah, check that site out. It's mind-blowing. One person said that if you look here with Bitcoin, it says here number of entities in control of more than 50% of voting power and mining. Look at that. 3 entities for Bitcoin, 3 for Ethereum, 1. This is why I don't like Ripple. I can't even F with Ripple. 1 for Ripple. Bitcoin Cash 3, Litecoin 3. What the hell? So the argument though that one person had was that, okay, that's a little skewed because of those 3, those are mining pools and there are thousands and thousands or maybe even millions, I don't know, of users on those pools. But you got to understand that's still 3 points of hash power. That's right there. They can, if they want, they can do whatever malicious things they want to do, in my opinion. But we'll get on with the show. I wanted to just drop that for my man. We got a few people on the line now, so let's take the first caller here. So it's your boy Crypto Blood.
So my thing was, how can the guy
go ahead and talk? I think let's try another person. I think that was the last caller that was on. It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's going on? Who's calling in? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Crypto Blood? My name's Jay. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, Phoenix. What's going on, man? How are you, James?
Jay, I'm good.
Good. What do you want to call in and talk about?
Let's talk about the Facebook coin.
All right, Facebook. So what do you think, man? You think they're gonna have any success with that? You think? Me personally, I think that's too long of a time frame if they're talking about years to roll out. This is not from their official source, but you know, a source close to it said that they're working on it.
It's just speculative for them to. They're just trying to get attention or news. We're still in a market that's young. Big companies really don't penetrate into a small market like this. They'll come after the equivalent of the .com crash when the crypto crash happened. 2-3 years after that is when they'll come out with their coin.
So you think this is just a PR stunt, basically?
PR stunt also to add validity to the market, saying that big companies, established companies, are shown interest in it.
So here's one paragraph from the article. It says, if Facebook goes forward with launching its own cryptocurrency, it is expected to make acquisitions in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. This goes to my man's point that he felt like they would do some acquiring, which would definitely help speed up their footprint, you know, in the space. So what companies do you...
Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was gonna say, what companies do you think they would be eyeing?
I mean, they're already an established company, so they can take any coin and make it viable, or they can already go with a pre-established viable coin such as Litecoin, or they can go with any type of smaller coin that's out there and make it instantly viable because, like I said, they already have the reach.
Interesting. So do you think they're going to be successful though? I mean, I don't know if it's going to be decentralized or if it's a private blockchain they're working on. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be, by the time they get going, I think a lot of these decentralized social media platforms are gonna already take market share, and people are gonna just start using those, and unless they're incentivizing their users to use it, and they get paid in their Facebook coin. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna all unfold, but I don't see I don't see how somebody's going to take over Facebook without some type of actual practical use that's differentiating factor in some way.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, thanks for your call, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I got 3 other people on the line, so appreciate the call. Make sure you call back in again on the next episode.
All right, man.
Thank you. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Where you calling from? Who you with?
Hey, what's up, Crypto Blood? This is Jesse.
Jesse from
Southern California. How you doing?
It never rains in Southern California. What's going on, Jesse?
Yeah, that's right, man. It's bright and sunny.
What's going on, man?
Hey, I was just letting you know that I participated in the Apollo ICO. You ever heard of that?
I have not. Apollo, no. I haven't done any.
Yeah,
when did their ICO?
It's gonna. I think it ends in a week or so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar. So tell us about Apollo.
Well, Apollo is just supposed to be like the newest all-in-one cryptocurrency. So, you know, it's got all the pros of, I don't know, man. You have to check it out. I didn't do too much research on it, but
come on,
good.
Man. Wait a minute. You didn't do any research.
Well, no, I mean, I did research, watched a bunch of videos on it. That's how I've been learning everything. You know, went over the website and everything, and it just looked good, man. So there's a big support behind it, you know. So
yeah. So someone in the chat room
shot
said,
one in the dark there.
Okay, I got you. I feel you. I've done that before. Ken in the chat room said Apollo is a scam.
Yeah, well, everybody says.
We do throw scam around in crypto pretty loosely, though. I have to say that.
Well, you know what? I guess I'll find out. So, you know what? Hey, I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I've been in crypto for 1 year, and I can't believe I got scammed the other day, dude. So I've been a supporter and holder of Proppy. And, you know, I've been following them on Twitter and sharing some of their Twitter posts. And then, I'm not even going to lie, I participated in one of those ETH giveaways.
Oh,
because I don't know. I only did a half of an ETH, though. But I was all excited about it. That that day, and I was just following the Twitter, and I was pumped up about some of the news that they had. I'm like, yeah, proppy. And then I wasn't on Twitter that much until recently, and so do you know what I'm talking about? Those ETH giveaways?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so after I sent it, I'm like, oh man. I looked at it, and it was one little digit off of profit, and I'm like, I can't believe I just got scammed. That was the first time I ever got scammed in a whole year in crypto.
It's all good, man. I mean, it happens, At least you recognize, and I'm sure you won't make that mistake again.
Oh, well, we'll not make that mistake again. Yeah. But anyways, man, I just wanted to call in and say hi and hope you're doing good. Love watching your videos, and check out Apollo, man.
Hey, man, these shows, this channel is nothing without you guys. So appreciate the support, my friend.
Oh, hey, and dude, I love that intro to some of your, what is it? Like
the Block Party podcast.
Yeah,
dog. Hottest intro funny in the crypto game, my friend.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I'll talk to you.
All right, later.
All right. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you. Turn that volume down.
All right, later.
All right. Call on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you. Turn that volume down. All right, later. Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Make sure you turn your volume down on the screen, please. How are you?
Good. This is Silver Star calling from Vegas.
Silver Star?
Yes.
How are you today? What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Okay, actually, I had a question because I'm a new sub of yours, and you know how you always start out with your charts, and I wanted to know if there's still room in your group with your trading signals, but also, can somebody that's a noob to trading, can they just catch on and start trading if they join your group, or do you have to already, have a lot of experience?
So the group is closed right now. The first cohort, we'll open it back up in about 2 months or so. You don't have to be a person that knows how to trade, but it is suggested that you do know a little bit about how trading systems work, money management. I do a few videos that I supply you at the beginning, and you can get up to speed. But yeah, you more than welcome to join in about two months here. Yep.
And so in 2 months, so how much skin do I need to put in the game? Do I need to put an entire Bitcoin in the game, or?
Entire Bitcoin, it does. So the amount is not so much the issue or requirement. It's what you're looking to make. So basically you back into that. So if you're looking to make, I don't know, a few $1,000s a month, then you need to have $50,000, $20,000, $50,000 you're allocating to trading. You don't want to overtrade your account. You don't want to what we used to call cowboy it. So you set your expectations on how much you're looking to make, and then I can tell you, okay, this is how much you're probably going to need to have allocated for trading.
Okay, all right. So yeah. I'll just keep looking out. So as long as there are no minimums, then I don't have to go run and take profits or something.
No, the trading signal group it's a signal that my algorithm generates. So you'll be prompted to, buy or sell. I don't take any money. It's your own account. So you handle, your own trades. It's just generated by my algorithms.
Okay, I'll just wait
for
you to give us the next indication that it's open. And I just want to say I love your show. I mean, you make everything easy, but I still learn something every time I listen. And,
that's good. I'm glad.
Maybe I'll see you when you come out to Vegas on Halloween.
Yeah, I'll be there. Are you going to the World Crypto Con?
I was thinking about signing up, yes.
Okay. Use that. I have a promo, C Blood, like the number, not number, the letter C, Blood, you can use that, and I think you'll get like 5% discount or something. So use that if you do decide to come out there. Love to see you out there.
But keep up the good work, sir.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Peace.
All right, people. Let me see who we got. If we have anyone else. I don't think we have anyone else on the line. But yeah, so thanks for the calls, guys. Go ahead and check that number out if you guys want to give me another call. Do that. But so here's what I wanted to do. I kind of got off focus, off track, but that's cool. It's a live stream. That happens. But I do want to go over this EOS thing, man. I think EOS, guys, I was sitting down thinking about it. I'm like, yo, so I don't know if you guys know, I'm thinking about selling half my position right before the registration, and then we'll buy back in, hopefully to accumulate additional tokens, and get back in my position with more tokens. But EOS, man, think about this. I just want you guys to think about like these 4 or 5 points that I kind of jotted down and thought about. One, U.S. citizens blocked out, right, from the ICO. So that means EOS is where it is right now. I think it's like number 4 or 5 on the market cap list. This is without U.S. participants. Now, we know that people can buy on exchanges or whatnot, but you're still going to have some people that want to try to buy it directly from the website, and they're not as savvy or don't know. You take a person that may be on Coinbase, they won't be able to just directly go and buy EOS. So once EOS actually launches their live platform blockchain, I think you're going to see an uptick in U.S. citizens that are looking to buy EOS. So that's one bull note for you. The second is, we kind of touched on it, Mike Novogratz. He is I think he's a billionaire guy, man, investor. He is teaming up with EOS, and they're doing an EOS IO fund for $325 million. This fund will be used to allocate monies towards projects to really help them develop on the EOS IO platform. That's going to be huge. He has a lot of ties in business, on Wall Street. I'm telling you guys, that's going to be a catalyst for a huge growth for EOS in 2018. And then, like, thirdly, I was thinking about this EOS to or Ether to EOS transfer. That is huge. I think we're going to see that happen shortly after they go live. I think a lot of people are kind of waiting on the sidelines right now with EOS, looking to see what happens. Once they go live, you're going to see a lot of people move over to EOS, take market share from Ethereum. Ethereum's market cap, I think, is at around 64 billion, I believe, somewhere around there, give or take. EOS is around 12-13 billion. Even just 12 billion from Ethereum moving over to EOS, it's going to double its price. Just that right there, and that's not even really hugely negatively affecting Ethereum like that. So that's a good point too, I think. And another thing is, as I just said, people are looking to see what happens. Like, once it goes live, that's going to be one hurdle, one notch off the belt for EOS, because there are a lot of promise coins out here. They call them promise coins. They promising this, and that, and they don't have an actual working blockchain. So I think this is going to be great when they go live next month. It's going to kind of ease a lot of the anxiety that people, or uncertainty that people have about EOS, and you're going to see a lot of capital shift around from other coins like Neo, from Ethereum, Cardano. You're going to see people shift funds over into EOS, and that's what's going to be. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I want to just kind of go over that. I think I got a call on the line. Let me hit them up. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Talk to me.
This is Clay Albright from Greenville, South Carolina. How you doing, friend?
Clay, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I just watched a video with you and Bix Weir and was literally shocked. I didn't know Bix felt that way about EOS and some of that FUD that's been created, and it blew my mind. So I jumped over to your channel, and here I am, sir.
Oh wow! So what were you shocked? So do you follow Bix? Because he's been kind of on the EOS is a bad project thing for a minute, I believe.
I know it. I've watched a lot of Bix videos, and I think he's got a pretty realistic approach to the crypto market. What surprised me is when he brought up the whole Brock Pierce thing, and was trying to kind of lay blame on EOS for that. Brock Pierce was involved with Ethereum. Brock Pierce was involved with Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay,
here's
the problem, Clay. This is the problem I have when we start bringing morality into things, because now if you want to use that as a baseline for, and I'm saying this is hearsay stuff. This is not even anything set in stone or that I have evidence of, but I'm just saying you start bringing that stuff in, then you have to do that for everything. Like you have to do that if you're using PayPal, if you're using, those are Bilderberg so-called startups. I mean, the list will go on and on and on to the point where you can't use anything. You've boxed yourself in because you're using morale as a barometer to pick what services you use or not. As long as those services aren't like killing people directly. But hey, man, if you're a U.S. citizen, we can't talk about what morality is and what isn't. You got to leave the states. Then we've done so much dirt here, man, and killed so many people around the world. You need to leave the United States. Then you need to stop paying taxes and leave the United States.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brock Pierce is a celebrity of sorts, and he got involved with EOS early on. I'm sure Dan Larimer was probably flattered to have someone, of celebrity status. When all that came out about him, so be it, and everybody somewhat separated ties with him. But EOS is going to rewrite the book on cryptos, man. And I don't think enough people give EOS the credit it's due. It is about to replace most other cryptos, truly,
It is, man.
with its capability.
It is.
It's like anything that came before EOS is going to need to rethink some stuff, man, because EOS has got the protocols that make it completely scalable, and communicate with all of the blockchains. How can you be an independent blockchain and compete with that? Only because anybody else can now rewrite on top of EOS whatever you've got.
That's right.
That's
right. And one myth that was we talked about, one thing that we talked about on the Block Party podcast about EOS picking the first 7. They're actually not picking the first 7 nodes. It's some type of voting process that goes on, and it's picked every 3 minutes, I believe. So they're not even picking the first 7. Secondly, there aren't going to only be 21 block producers. There are going to be 151, I believe. So
it's a whole lot more.
It's not. Yeah, people need to really do their due diligence and research EOS. Now, does that mean that EOS is gonna roll out smooth, no issues? No, I don't think so. It's impossible. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna have issues. So that's where the risk is. We're banking on it, not being something that's catastrophic, but even that can be patched and the show will go on. Rather that happen early in the game than later, and I think they've done a great job with the different betas they've come out with, Dawn 1 through 4. They'll be fine, man. I'm telling you, they'll be fine in the long run.
I totally agree. I love your show. Thank you for letting me on here, bud.
Yeah, you got it, man. I'll talk to you, Clay. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, guys, another thing you got to realize is that your EOS tokens are going to be staking. So you're going to make money off of your EOS tokens. Just do your research, people. It's important to do your research, your own research. Even Big says that, do your own research, figure it out for yourself, and go from there, act accordingly. But let's see here. Let me put that number back up there for you people. 669-900-6833. And the code is 169-861-119. Call me up, please. Call me up. So the other topic for tonight was going to be about consensus. And that's not the right article. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find that for us. There we go. I think this is it. So as you guys can see here, this is out of News BTC. Says here, consensus 2018 will be the next big catalyst for Bitcoin, analyst says. And I think I have to agree with this analyst. Let me put that number back up before I read that. Again, the number is 669-900-6833. Give me a call. I'm going to stay on for another, I say, 15 minutes or so. 15-20 minutes if I don't get any real calls coming in. You guys go ahead and give me a call. 12 says miners are afraid of EOS. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. Let me see if I can find some stuff in here. People are saying. Blair says, well said, CB. I'm thinking the same way. EOS may be huge with the way they are setting up their blockchain, almost like a societal structure with improvements from where present systems fail. Yeah, and you know, it's not to say that EOS is the end all be all. What I'm saying is EOS is to what Netscape was to what came after Netscape. We had, like, I don't know, there's a lot of browsers, but you know, there have been incremental improvements from when Netscape was around to Mozilla, you know, Firefox, and you know, then Internet Explorer, right? I think it was, I should say that, like Netscape, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome. Now we got Brave browser. So I'm not saying EOS is the end all be all, but it is surely, in my opinion, going to be a hell of a lot better than Ethereum. I'm sorry. Gotta open your mind, people. Remember I told you that. It's your boy Crypto Blood. What's good? Who's calling in?
It's Steve. What's up, my man?
Hey, Steve. How are you, man?
So why do you think that consensus is actually going to change the whole market again? I find it I don't trust when CNBC and everywhere I look, they're like, this is going to cause like the next bull market. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying it won't, right, but it's been a pretty bad couple months in general. Mm-hmm. So what gives you so much like optimism about that?
I get it's a few ways I can answer that. I'll start with how you said the last few months have been pretty damn bad. They have been. So with that being said, most likely all of your sellers are nearly exhausted. They're done, right? So we're at the price we're at because there are no more sellers. Right. That being said, an event, a conference like Consensus is a bullish, it just is. It's a bullish event. It's a bullish week because you're going to have people finding new projects, and like, you know, you're going to have money start to invest back into cryptocurrencies after that. And so that's kind of why I'm saying that we're at near lows. Or I wouldn't say we're at lows, but we've seen a lot of sell off, man. We're down
it's pretty
over
low.
$400 billion. So I can easily see another 100 billion, 150 billion coming in after Consensus. I'm not saying it's going to.
Well,
go ahead.
I seen Tom Lee from Fundstrat. Pretty much everywhere I look, like, said that this is going to go up. Tom Lee said
he said 70%,
hit like an all-time high, right?
Yeah, he said 70%.
Somebody said 70%. I trust that you're right. And someone else said that this is going to lead to like an all-time high, and I'm like, I just don't trust it. Like, I find it very weird that there's no like dissenting like opinions. I could be wrong. I do find it interesting that I did hear that somebody from the St. Louis Fed was going to be there, and the St. Louis Fed, like, they put out that article kind of saying why Bitcoin actually kind of like resembles like the U.S. dollar. I don't know the whole landscape of the Fed, so I don't know if all the branches are 100%, working together, if they like communicate well.
Mm-hmm. I don't see Bitcoin is nowhere near like the U.S. dollar.
Well, they put out an article. I guess you didn't read that article. Like I know you.
No,
you said that you don't follow too many like YouTubers and shit like that.
No,
so
I don't.
So I'm trying to remember exactly like what they said. It came out a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And talked about how it being unbacked or having like intrinsic value is not too much like different like than the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
And, that's very bullish coming from a branch of the Fed. I don't know like much about the Fed.
Yeah.
I know like it's not a government like a bank.
No,
and they name it that way.
Right.
I don't know like about all the branches. I don't know if they communicate. I don't know like their structure. I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So the Federal Reserve is, like you said, not a federal agency. Oh man, that's a whole nother conversation, man. But you have different central banks around the country: St. Louis, I think Chicago,
Boston,
New York, Boston. There are a few, right? So they have meetings. They meet. I don't know if it's monthly or they have Fed meetings. I don't know. I know they have a monthly Fed meeting. What I'm saying is I don't know if they meet in between there as well. But them saying that Bitcoin is like, or U.S. dollar, or Bitcoin is like the U.S. dollar, I don't know how to take that. Like, I don't know if they're bullish on it or
bullish, obviously, like because they weren't shitting on it, and like that's,
okay, I see.
I did like like you're not shitting on it, and like you're saying, well, like the U.S. dollar is not backed by anything. You're right, like it doesn't have any like intrinsic value, but since the dollar doesn't, it didn't make a case. It just kind of stated facts. Like,
I guess I would compare
it was kind of weird.
I would compare that to saying an apple is round like an orange, so we're the same. We're similar. That's what I would say to say that. Because
why would they do that? And
that I don't know. That is weird.
The fact that they did it, and that I cannot remember where I heard that someone from the Fed was going there. I think I heard someone from the New York Stock Exchange was going there. So things like that are extremely bullish. I just think I'm not getting my hopes up because the whole year has kind of been this way.
Yeah, it's a little weird that this. I don't know which. Do you recall which central bank said that out of the Fed?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. It's just a little weird to see St. Louis Fed saying something very good about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, I should say, which clearly is a direct threat to their system. But hey, that I have no answer for. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I can. I guess once the video post, I'll post the link in the description once I find it again.
Yeah,
drop that in there. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like that doesn't make sense. Like I don't think that like St. Louis is like some some important hub at St. Louis. I'm not saying it's not unimportant. I'm just saying as far as the Federal Reserve, I don't know why that branch would be allowed or willing to put that out there.
Yeah.
But to play devil's advocate, I guess when you have the St. Louis Fed, apparently, and people from the stock exchange, all going to like this conference, yeah, we're close to something, right? I mean,
yeah, no,
I
agree.
Once they get like the custodian issue like all worked out, I mean, there's nowhere else to go. I mean, it's mainstream or it's back to the dungeon. So I think we're right there.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve.
CNBC is telling me that like it's going to be bullish. It's like, oh, okay. Like, why are you guys telling me that a conference? Like, I just find it weird that there's no other point of view.
Yeah.
It probably will be bullish. It has been bullish in the past. It's just kind of strange that the whole year's been somewhat shit, and then like they're coming out telling us that like, it's going to be great. So I guess we'll see.
Right.
when it comes to Facebook there, so Facebook, the board of directors, I know there's a lot of people. I know like Peter Thiel is on there, and he's been Bitcoin for a while. I do know, since he's right-wing, they have in the past like shunned his opinion. I know he's moved out of Silicon Valley. Not saying that means anything, but I'm sure he has at some point brought it up. I know a while ago, like Mark Zuckerberg said that they would look into it, because a lot of left-wing, activist types, they want to change like the world, like for the better, and
through socialism.
If you bank, right? Like, I'm no fan of socialism, and like that's not any strategy like that I would agree with, but usually like left-wing policies come from a good place. They want to change things for the better. It just backfires on them terribly.
Yeah.
But if you are a left-wing activist and you want to change the world like for the better, there is no better way than cryptocurrency. You can bank the unbanked. You can change the whole structure. So it's kind of like right up their alley. But for some reason, every time I look at Mark Zuckerberg, and I'm not just talking shit, he looks like a deer in the headlights. He looks very confused. He does. He looks very confused. He looks like he's just kind of like off. I'm like lost in space. So like, I know that article says that like they're talking like a few years away. And if you're going to acquire a bunch of blockchain companies and it's going to take a few years, I don't think they have a few years. But
I don't either. Yeah,
it's also very hard, like, to build a brand name.
Yes.
Like Facebook. Like, you pretty much got to get lucky. You pretty much got to get pretty lucky. Shit just got to go your way.
Yep.
So, but like, they don't seem like they, like their last data scandal there. Like, they didn't have a point of view that was, in sync with any other like board member. They had no answer for it. So like, I can't really see them being organized on blockchain. I don't think they have a clue like what they're doing, because usually like when you are given a monopoly, and they have a monopoly, and it's not like they asked for it, it's just the way it is. Like, Facebook has no competition. Twitter and Facebook are not the same thing. Like, Instagram is not exactly the same thing. But like, as far as like Facebook goes, they don't have any like real competition. So usually when people have no competition, they are terrible at making changes. Just like in their data scandal. And now like when it comes to blockchain, I cannot see them moving fast or being effective in doing anything. I just can't.
No, the company is too big. A number of things, Steve. The company's too big. They're publicly traded. So that there's a lot of bureaucratic stuff going on with that. You got to go through boards, and it's a lot of different stuff on that front. And it's just simply too big, man. And they're not going to be able to move as fast
like
as
GM, right? Like GM,
right.
Like GM had a stranglehold. Well, you're from Detroit,
Yep.
GM had a fucking stranglehold and everything. All they had to do was not drop the ball, and what do? They drop the ball, because when you don't have competition, like the banks right now, you're not sharp. And you're not sharp because you don't have to be. Like, you can be fat and lazy, and everything's just working out until someone comes along and they're going to crush your business model.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't see them as very prepared in any way, shape, or form from anything I've seen to change their whole structure for blockchain. I could be wrong. I don't know it all, but I don't see anything.
No, that's good. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. A good assessment there, I think. Before I let you go, Kevin Chan says in the chat room, Steve, he says the public have forgotten about the Facebook scandal already, and he's telling the truth, man.
Well, they never cared. They never cared. If you cared about your privacy, you wouldn't be on there in the first place, or like about their options. I just have one more thing for you real quick about EOS. On Mike Novogratz, his index that he put out with Bloomberg, I think he had that at 10%. So he had Bitcoin at 30%, Ethereum at 30%. He had Ripple actually at 15%. He had EOS at 10%. He had Litecoin at 3%. Bitcoin Cash. I cannot remember. It was in between EOS and Litecoin, I believe. And then they had 4 other currencies, one including Ethereum Classic. That's all I can remember off the top of my head.
I like that allocation, to be honest with you. People, I know a lot of the people that follow me. I follow or watch a lot of the same people like Biggs, J Snip, and some others. But I like Litecoin, but I'm not right now that excited about it. I just don't see the sense of urgency going on over there, but maybe I'm wrong.
Did you see Charlie Lee trying to buy a bank, or like the talks about buying a bank? I keep hearing this.
No, I didn't.
A German bank. I know, like, you don't follow YouTubers, so like Bitcoin Ben used to be like in the Litecoin Foundation. He eventually got some of asked to resign because he talks a lot, which I like because it's good for me. It's bad for them, but good for me.
Yep.
And I've seen it a couple places, so I don't know the whole story. So it's a token pay. A token pay on Twitter, I think, as Charlie Lee was kind of ripping on them for doing something with Verge. And then I think they asked Charlie Lee to go in halves with him, like on a bank.
Gango,
so
I'm sorry to cut you off, Steve. Gango, I see you in the queue. Just hold on for me. We're talking. I see you in the queue, man. Just give me a sec. We'll talk. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Steve. Yep.
So there has been some talk about them like trying to buy a bank. So once you're in the banking system and you own a bank, like you can take your ass to the table, basically. I've seen that a couple times. Like they talked about it, like on Twitter.
So I wonder how Biggs feels about that. About like about Charlie Lee doing that move. That's clicking right up with the cabal, in my opinion.
I don't know even how I have a bunch of Litecoin. I don't know how I feel about it sometimes. Like, because at the end of the day, compared to a Bitcoin, it is undervalued, but it's a test net, right? So I don't know if I don't really know their value sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like tricky.
And this is coming from, man, I bought my first Litecoin at 55 cents. So I know about Charlie Lee. I know about Litecoin. So when I tell you that Litecoin, for years, Charlie Lee abandoned the project and went and worked with Coinbase. I don't have anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, it was nothing going on, no growth, no anything. He came back. I was very bullish about Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, but Litecoin when he came back. I knew it was gonna blow up, so I got back into Litecoin at that point, and I rode that wave up. But we need to see more stuff going on with them as far as pushing the payments.
I tell you what, like people talk about Charlie Lee like being a nice guy, and he is a nice guy. But like when it comes to business, being a nice guy will fuck you every single time. Mm-hmm. I think like you can't be some like very very nice, pleasing guy. Like you'll get eaten up, in my opinion.
Yep.
But
and it's not even that. Like some people, it's not even about being nice in business will get you messed up. It can, but you can be nice and prosper in business. But some people aren't good
but
business
like naive,
people.
Nice ain't gonna help you.
Right, naive, nice, right. But some people aren't just. Some people aren't just great business people. Some people are just very good at being a technical individual, a genius at writing code and doing that. And very, very. Not too often do you see you have that hybrid of a good coder,
crossover,
and a person that's a good business person. So it's normally one or the
other. You're probably right. If your background is his background, you don't have a business background, and they are very different.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Yeah, man. Thanks for the call, Steve, and make sure you call in again, man.
All right.
Yeah, you got it. All right, before I get to you, Gango, I hope I'm saying your name right. I wanted to just make a comment on a message I saw in the chat room. I think it was from Harmony369. She said, EOS is a great Bitcoin test fund. The best parts of its technology will be integrated into Bitcoin eventually. So, Harmony, that will not happen. And the reason is you got to understand they're two totally different Bitcoin will never have the capacity to do what EOS is doing. Okay, the way that Bitcoin was actually, from the core standpoint of it, the open source code of it, it cannot do what EOS is setting out to do from a computational standpoint. So Bitcoin what EOS is doing will never be migrated over to Bitcoin. So I just wanted to help you understand that point on that note you put in the chat room. So Gangle, what's good, man? Let's talk finally. Sorry for the hold up there.
Oh, it's all good, man. How are you?
I'm good. So you wanted to talk EOS?
Yeah, man. I found your video today. I guess I'm a EOS fanboy since day one of EOS crowd sale. But I found your video today, and your boy Bix was talking some major shit about EOS today. Like, first and foremost, let me say that I am happy to discover that you are bullish on EOS. I truly believe that it is a project that is going to change blockchain, and it's going to do what the world wants blockchain to do. But your boy Bix, man, he was dropping a lot of crazy shit today.
Yeah,
in
he
the video
was.
that came out.
I love Bix, man, but my man was going. He was saying some crazy stuff, man. So where do you want to start? Where do you want? Oh, wait, before I have you start, my man 1-2 in the chat room said Dan Limmer said that Bitcoin can port over to EOS. That is true. It would be the other way around. You can see Bitcoin on top of EOS, but go ahead, man.
I mean, that is a true statement. Like, I don't think that is the best decision for Bitcoin to make, to move over to EOS.
They wouldn't. I mean, no, they wouldn't.
No, they would. Especially with people like Roger Ver involved, who is a crazy individual himself. But I mean, you know, Bitcoin it's the grandfather of this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's what started the whole blockchain movement, and so Bitcoin needs to be what it is, and we need to waste electricity to mine Bitcoin so that Bitcoin remains scarce, and like it's important for Bitcoin to remain what it is.
Let's get a round of applause for Bitcoin real quick. Yes, Bitcoin,
absolutely.
Grandpapa. Definitely. It's a figurehead. It's more of a, it like you said, it needs to be there. It's the first cryptocurrency. It got this thing started. Credit needs to be definitely given to that technology for sure.
Absolutely. And so Bitcoin is the granddaddy of the whole thing. And I will say this, like, you know, we have this whole fight between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash with Roger Ver. And, you know, he wants it to be what Satoshi's original vision was. And the original community, you know, Bitcoin Core community wants it to be what Bitcoin Core is. And so, you know, I'll say this. So yesterday I bought, I live in the United States, and I found a dealership in my state that accepts Bitcoin for cars. And so I bought a brand new vehicle with Bitcoin. And it was not an easy process,
Nope.
And it was not this simple transaction. And so I was waiting on the blockchain, and like, you know how dealerships go, like they make you, you know, like they're like, oh, we'll have you out of here in an hour.
Yeah.
That was not the case. And so like, I'm literally looking at this dude across from the table, and I was like, look, dude, you told me I'd be out of here in an hour, and I have to go pick my kids up from school. And so like, I can't sit here and wait on the blockchain to buy this car from you. So like, he handed me the keys, and he was like, I trust that it'll go through, because like, that's the way, like he saw the transaction happen. And so like, he trusts that, you know, like he trusts the whole process or whatever. But
right.
So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, like Bitcoin, yes, store value, granddaddy of everything crypto.
Right.
but it's, you know, it's not the end all be all, and it's not the way that we're gonna, you know, it's not like swiping a Visa card at the Starbucks terminal or whatever.
Nope, nowhere near.
But anyways, back to EOS. Your boy Bix, like, was dropping so much misinformation and like being the I guess the EOS fanboy that I am, like we have to set that straight. And I think you replied to one of my comments on the video that of the three of you guys sitting there talking. But like, I mean, first and foremost, like, I want to discuss like the thing that he said about like, oh, Block One is going to elect 7 block producers to make this happen, and he had his whole conspiracy theory about how like they're gonna pick the top 7 people that are gonna make this thing happen, and yada yada yada. Like, that's just complete bullshit. Like, that's not even a thing. Like 7 producers, like 7 block producers, or supernodes as he was calling them, like don't even factor into the situation. Like,
so explain to the audience how this whole voting situation goes, it's not the 7, but how the actual block producers are elected, and they're elected every 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like it's every 3 minutes. It's like a full round between the 21 block producers.
Mm-hmm.
But so the way that it happens, and I appreciate you standing up for the EOS community. So the EOS, like, they're writing open source software, right? Like, mm-hmm. once Block One releases the code, like, it's up to the community to do it. And so I posted a link on your video, which it was part 1 of the video with Bix and your other homie. And people can go find that link. But it was
I'll pull it up. Keep talking. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
So Thomas Cox, who is the governance expert, and he's a part of Block One, he wrote like a foreshadowing essay of like what launch day looks like. And so it's a pretty good read, and you know, it was him sort of watching, it was him foreshadowing the idea of them watching the blockchain going live. But so basically, the way it goes down is Block One releases the open source code.
Mm-hmm.
There's a team of block producers out there. There's block producers all over the world that are currently, practicing and doing dry runs and doing different trials and trying to figure out how we make this thing work. And so the way it's going to work is there's going to be one block producer that decides to launch the initial code. And so they're going to set up the Genesis block and let it run. And then there's going to be 20 other block producers that come in, as there's 21 block producers that are set to run the EOS network. And so an initial block producer will launch the software. 20 other groups will come in and they'll help process the network. And so at that point, like, all of these people are doing this for the sake of doing it. And they're all volunteers, and they have no incentive to do it other than that they give a shit about the network.
Right.
And so at that point, once all 21 nodes are live and are running a successful blockchain, token holders will be able to come in. Everybody has their ERC20 tokens that they've registered with a EOS public and private key, and they will come in and they can stake their votes. And so the chain will not go live. Like, tokens will not be liquid until I think it's 15%. 15% of the token holders, so that's 150 million tokens. So until 150 million tokens have placed their votes for block producers. And so once that happens, then the chain is fully live and tokens become unlocked and become tradable and transferable. And so once that happens, it will be a matter of like, so sorry, let me backtrack. But so it is a community decision for these things to happen. And so once all tokens are unlocked and at least 15% of the tokens have staked votes for block producers, then all like the network becomes live and all token holders can continue to stake their votes for block producers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a very important number. And so once all these things continue to happen, like then we have a live blockchain. And so these 21 people that have volunteered their time and services to launch the blockchain, like they could be voted out. You know, you or I could do it. We could hop in as one of the initial 21 people
right.
to launch this network. So, and so moving forward, so the initial white paper said that, you know, being a delegated proof of stake network, you know, like I run several nodes on different networks and that's proof of stake. But so delegated proof of stake is we say, like, we as token holders, we say, we want these people to run the network and this is why. And as soon as those people, like if anyone decides to be malicious or act, you know, become a bad actor, then we pull our votes and we elect somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's so I guess back to my original comment, like Bix's idea that like Block One, the company writing this code, are going to pick 7 people to make this thing happen. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a community effort.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, man. I mean, there are other points that you made as well that really, hopefully, you know, like I said, I like Bix, so I want him to be, you know, out in the community spreading the correct information to help himself and his viewers as well. So hopefully I can get him to jump on the EOS train, man.
Right. And you know, like I don't know you or Bix before today, but the important thing is like, and if Bix doesn't want to get on the EOS train, that's fine. But the information that's being shared, like, I mean, like it needs to be accurate. And so like you guys have a public voice, which is how I found you. And so it's important that, you know, the information that is being shared through your channels is accurate. It's like that whole thing that, like you saw the Kanye TMZ thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and homeboy sitting in his office in the back of the TMZ thing stood up and he was like, "No, bro, like that's like your voice is too big. You can't be saying shit like that."
Yeah. The bigger you get, you do have to be a little bit more. You're right. You're definitely.
So
right.
I'm not drawing a parallel between Bix and Kanye. Like,
right. I know. I hear what you're saying though. Yep.
When you have that public voice, like it's important to be cautious and informed of what you say. And so, you know, I mean, there was a lot of things that were said in that video, and you know, Bix went off with his conspiracy theories about, you know, the DIN network and Mark Collins Rector and like that whole thing, and like, you know, it's like that is what it is, and like, you know, like, and let's assume the worst in that situation, as you guys did in your video. You know, like it still doesn't matter, which is the point that you made. Like,
right. But that, yeah, I think Bix is, because he didn't even get that part, I think is what he's not grasping the full understanding of what EOS is. It's open source, so it will go on no matter what, and people are going to make EOS great or not. It has really nothing to do with Block One. So that's why they have these funds where they're trying to get people to, you know, create their projects, their companies on EOS IO, because that will determine whether or not EOS succeeds, not Block One.
You're absolutely right in that. And so, I mean, but that said, like, so, I mean, the brains behind the EOS software do reside inside of Block One. And so, like, Block One has committed themselves to, you know, continuing to foster the community and the software. And so, like, Block One is committed to continue to improve upon the EOS software, which, you know, one of the beauties of EOS is that, like, it doesn't require a hard fork to make a change or to fix things. Right. It's a community system. And so, like, you know, like, that's the difference between Ethereum, where, like, Vitalik says code is law, and where Dan Larimer says code is not law. Like, code is written by people who are fallible. Correct. And so, like, shit's gonna happen and we're gonna need to fix it. And so, like, we still do need Block One behind the EOS software, because as things continue to evolve and, you know, Dan learns more things or whatever, like, we're going to continue to improve the platform. And so it is an important thing to have Block One continuing to support the EOS software.
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for your contribution to tonight's Off the Chain episode, man. I appreciate your time. I got another caller, Gangle. Make sure you call in again.
Absolutely, brother. Keep doing it up.
All right, bro. Thanks. Caller on the line. It's your boy Crypto Blood.
CB, Don from West Virginia.
Don! What a good way to end it. We're going to end it after this one, man. What's going on, man? It's been a while.
No way. I caught it just in time, man.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Save the best for last. Save the best for last.
Yeah, I got these things called kids, and they need attention and stuff. Oh, and, man. You know, just...
Yeah, those kids, goodness. Man. I got one myself.
I'll tell you something for all your listeners out there. Talking about crypto, changing the world. You want to change the world, have some kids and teach them values.
There you go. Very true.
That's it. You talk big picture, start with you and your kids, have a family, get it going.
There you go. Very true, Don. So what's good, man? It's been a while. You know, a lot of things have actually transpired and since the last Off the Chain. What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
I was going to talk about EOS a little bit, talk about BIX, some Litecoin stuff. EOS, now, BIX's theory, if there are some bad guys involved with that, and you guys had an argue about, you're pretty adamant this project's going to succeed. He was pretty adamant it's still questionable or going to fail. And I think if there's bad actors involved, and you got Block One and everyone seems to have ties at least back to the Clinton Foundation and CIA or whatever nonsense he was talking about. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that's going to lead into whether the project succeeds or fails. If they've got ties to some bad actors, then they may be forced to succeed. They may have resources none of us know about, and if like I said, if they've got ties there, then that brings in the regulatory question, because EOS is, I think, the biggest ICO to date and still going on and whatnot. And here we are still waiting regulation clarity as to what's going to happen. So, I mean, if they come out and say that these tokens are securities and fall under securities law, and it invalidates all these things, I mean, I think they're going to be right there with all the rest of them. And
no, they're not. The reason why, Don, is because the way they design their their ICO, if you want to call it. It's not
really, the ICO. That's right.
It's really not an ICO. They basically call it a virtual mining of tokens every day, 2 million tokens, but they do not allow any U.S. citizens. You can't participate. Now, I don't know how the SEC will come after them with that. I don't know.
That was what I was going to say. I don't know that the SEC is going to turn a blind eye just because you wrote some verbiage saying that, we're not doing what everyone else is doing, so we don't apply.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the SEC would turn a blind eye to that if this all goes faulty.
Yeah, I hear you. And that I can't argue that point. I can't say that they won't go after them at all. What I can say is that Block One has $2 billion to to do whatever they need to make sure,
Right, and that's kind of one of the things. If this goes faulty and the SEC starts eyeing them up, well then, I mean, is this going to turn out like every other political episode in which it's justice for some and not all? If they're found to be guilty of misleading investors.
Well, I can see a scenario as far as with SEC. They did, EOS did block United States citizens from participating, but let's say they went on with it anyway. The SEC went after EOS. All they have to do, EOS, possibly they can have some type of KYC check put in where any user has to be KYC cleared that way before using the applications or whatever. I don't know. I think they could possibly ring fence U.S. citizens out of this.
Yeah, there's probably a way around it, and if they've got ties to bad actors, they're going to find that way around it. But I guess interesting that they decided to go ahead with this
I just think when we start, again, I said this earlier, Don, when we start assessing technologies based off morality barometers, we use that as a rule. You really start to block yourself into a corner. That's a good segue.
Apple, I was going to mention that too. I think it's Tiho from the Arcane Bear maybe says something like he invests in people, not projects. And so, I think Bix is right in that, there's a little bit of morality there, but I don't know. This stuff. But
those are baseless claims.
Like you can't blur.
I need proof. Like those are baseless claims. Not that's another thing.
Sure,
like
you and I both know that there's no justice in the system. So even though that stuff might be true, and it might also be true that no one ever suffered any consequences because. We know about all the Pizzagate and pedophilia and all that stuff that no one's suffering consequences for right now. But back to the point, I gotta see. I see both sides, but in a case like this, there's gonna be. There's bad actors in the dollar fiat system.
That's what I was saying. Like, if we're gonna use that, then we have to leave. Like, I should not be using the dollar. The dollar has killed more people. The dollar has killed more people than I don't know anything else, man. Over the dollar, over the petrodollar. So it's like, then do I stop using the U.S. dollar? Do I stop accepting current, U.S. dollars when I'm, running my business?
We all wish that were the case, but that's not how it's going to play out.
Right.
At least not in the short term. So yeah, I see the technology aspect. We people buy stocks of plenty of companies of people they don't like, but they're putting out good products
or don't know.
A lot of people
don't know. I don't know half the people running these Fortune 500 companies.
Right. And at the end of the day, we're all here for the tech, so we say. A lot of us are here only for the money. And EOS has got a ways to go yet, in my opinion. Wait. How about this? How about the remote viewers saying EOS
was going to be big? Yeah.
And then Bix giving that validity to the remote viewers.
Right.
So
right. So here's the thing, Don. My thing is, if Bix has some type of proof I just want to see. I want to see the actual proof. I'm not saying that he's not right. I'm like, I need to see proof instead of anecdotal evidence. I need to see some type of, give me X, Y, Z, so I can go and research and say this, that, and the third. You know, with the Brock Pierce thing,
his claim to fame is conspiracy theories. I mean, his claim to fame is theories without the proof. And I believe a lot of what he's saying is correct, but there's no proof on any of it.
Yeah, I need proof. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I agree with you. A lot of that stuff probably is correct, you know, but I need some more proof to say I'm not going to mess with the project or it's going to fail. You know, on the topic of Brock Pierce, you know, that whole situation that has this, you know, underage, I didn't even know until we met with Bix that Brock was gay or homosexual. I don't know the proper term to use for those individuals, but that aside from, I mean, I'm not going to use, you know, I have my thoughts about that. It doesn't matter. The thing is, that happened when he was 18 years old. On top of that, nothing came of it. He was never charged. There was nothing. Okay, so I'm just like, I need more evidence, bro. I need more evidence.
Yeah, and that does not mean he can't create a good project or be involved with a good project.
That's true. Just because
his own remote viewers are saying that EOS to 250. I mean, I'm not saying I agree and give it validity, but I'm saying he's giving them validity. So I kind of got to watch his wording there. That's a strange thing. Now, I will say I like Vix, I like what he's doing. I'm really glad that you're able to see the other side of the coin and have an educated conversation with people. That
absolutely.
I mean, that's how we grow ourselves, is seeing the other side of the coin. I mean, it's, you know, these are the other people he's creating FUD, and we're basically, when we talk to him, we get to see the other side's playbook and what they're thinking, why they don't like it, and we can agree or disagree. And
correct.
And I thought it was a really good thing, like you said in the beginning of the one episode, that it's good to disagree with people. So I'm really glad that was done in a civil manner. So I don't know, EOS, maybe it succeeds, maybe it doesn't. I mean, is it really any different from any of the other dozen tokens we're all holding? Maybe they succeed, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Tell you what, man, you know, like you said, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, but I'll tell you this, they're launching next month, and that by itself is better than a lot of these promise coins out here.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Anybody that can get a product on the table.
There you go.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Charlie Lee a little bit too. A lot of people hating on Charlie Lee for selling his coins and being a very terrible marketer, which I agree that he is. But I think that Charlie's project, yes, it's pretty stagnant, seems to be moving pretty slow. A lot of people, you know, you say Litecoin, they just don't get excited. I'm pretty excited for it. I like Charlie Lee's character. I like his humility, the low energy he displays. I kind of feel like he puts off this vibe of like
it's very zen,
I don't want to hype my product. I don't want to what is it? Oversell and underdeliver.
Correct.
I feel like he's just kind of sitting there in the background, like, I know I got a good product. I can be the worst marketing person in the world, which I am, and my product is still going to sell itself when the time is right. That's kind of how I feel about it.
So why do you like Litecoin so much from a technical standpoint, not so much from the guy behind it?
Micropayments.
Okay.
It's doing what Bitcoin has failed to do in the micropayments aspect, and everybody from day one, it was the silver to Bitcoin gold, and nothing has changed about that.
Okay, so what about so micropayments is one good characteristic for sure, but in my opinion, Don, I think the barrier to entry for its competitors is low. If that's the one thing that separates, you know what I mean? Like, it is the thing that's like, Litecoin is micropayments. I mean, I do micropayments with BATS, BATS or basic attention tokens.
Yeah, you can do Dash, whatever the,
You know, so the thing is, people... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think its relationship to Bitcoin And
that's a strong point.
Yeah, I think so. Being that it's built and is a test net for Bitcoin, it's proven. The other thing is that it's proven for years and years. And what was I going to say about that? Oh, just the relationship of 21 million to 84 million. The other thing is it's right there on Coinbase, and Coinbase, like them or not, they're going to be monumental in rolling out cryptos to the masses. They already are. You got Brian Kelly on CNBC pitching it all the time. And two, when adoption comes, you're going to have Bitcoin is going to be the king out there, and everyone's going to sign on Coinbase and see Bitcoin, be like, I can't afford that. Let me look at this Litecoin thing. And, they're going to want the cheaper coin on Coinbase.
I agree. That's a good. So now you're giving me more. You're giving me more points where I understand where you're coming from on that. Absolutely. I think you have a point.
Also, the organic growth. I like the organic growth. We had that shoot up last December, which was, we had to run up in all the cryptos. But I like its organic growth. It's, I think recently here too, it broke out of the Bitcoin relationship. I don't know what it was. I think it started climbing in terms of Bitcoin. And as we all know, Cliff's got that going to a fifth of Bitcoin. And I don't see why it shouldn't. If everybody's excited about the king Bitcoin, this is just its little brother. I don't see why they wouldn't be excited about Litecoin, except for God blessed Charlie Lee. He's terrible at talking about it.
Yeah, I think and Rudy Geiger just said this in the chat room about Litecoin smart contracts. That is coming, Rudy. So that's another. If they can get that going, that's going to be nice. That's going to be really nice. But I think
Vix did a video forever ago talking about privacy aspects coming on Litecoin and smart contracts and kind of a host of things coming down the pike. And again, really no validity to that. I mean, I don't think there's any sources on it, but I don't know. Charlie Lee just strikes me as the guy who just kind of like everyone is out there hyping their project. I feel like he's just sitting there working. That's just the kind of guy he strikes me as, his character. So I'm real confident in the things he's going to do with that.
But the thing is, man, what people fail to realize, as this market matures, you'll start to see a lot of the unnecessary coins and projects will just go to the wayside and not maybe necessarily disappear. You'll have those diehard fans, but as the real world application of these types of projects and blockchains start to be utilized, you're not going to need a lot of this stuff, man. Like literally EOS could, and I think we need competition. So like Cardano, whenever they get fully rolling out, that may be a good competitor to EOS. But you literally could design a token, not a token, but a currency on top of the EOS IO and be much faster than anything that we currently have for a currency.
Cliff said in his last one, I think he used Ethereum when he said it, but there's hardly any first mover advantage anymore because someone's going to see what you're doing. They're going to like it. They're going to take it and implement it in 2 days.
Right.
Now, I don't think you're going to take EOS's and implement it in 2 days, but if the desire is there, someone's going to build it. You might see Dan Larimer come out with EOS 2.0. like Steam 2.0. Who knows what he's going to do? That bothers me that he likes to jump ship on these projects. Maybe he feels like they're complete and bails or whatever it is. It bothers me a little, but I don't think it's a negative thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's a negative thing. And I honestly, I went and did a little bit more research. He didn't jump ship on these companies. So BitShares, that got going to where he wanted. Okay. He let his father take that over, and then he went and did Steam it. He left that on a good term. Like the guy that he fell out with, his partner in that, it was over some funds. He felt like he was taking too much Steam bucks or something. Dan Larimer did, and so they split and left. But his ultimate goal was to do a platform like EOS. So this is where he said, this is what out of all the work I've done in the blockchain community or space, this is what I wanted to do at the end. So it's not the way it's spun is not like he's just jumping around like LeBron James.
Yeah, like LeBron James. It's funny. Yeah, that really is encouraging. As we say, anybody who's in here and trying to further the space, further adoption, more power to them. I'm not here to sit back and call them scams or this, that, or the other. Go do your thing, and if you're helping, help.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. It's nothing guaranteed. Like you said, I'm not saying this will be the end all, but I have I'm more of a technical guy. I have a good feeling about EOS, so we'll see what happens, man.
Well, that's encouraging. Your input's definitely appreciated. We'll see where it goes.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
You know it. Take it easy.
Peace. All right, people. I think that is it for today. Thank you guys for joining another episode of Off the Chain with Crypto Blood, episode number 7. Ooh, you guys be having me working here. 2 hours long, 2 hours strong, but we're all done for today. Thanks again, guys. And I should be doing one. No, I will not be doing one next week because I will be in New York. On that note, if you guys are in New York on, I think that Friday, this coming Friday, come out and join me. I'll give you guys details about the meetup. I'll be out there in NYC. I think we're going to do the Chelsea market and have some fun, but I'll give you guys details about that. All right. Thanks again, people. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla.